Welcome, everyone, to the inaugural episode of All on the Table Sidequest and our Halloween Spooktacular episode. On this show, we're going to be playing lots of different games, be they board games, card games, or tabletop role-playing games like today. And we'll have different GMs and different hosts and different players each month. But today, I'm Dana Priebe, and you'll see me in the chat as Queen of No Pants. And we're going to be playing a game by Grant Howitt. Now, Grant Howitt is a great game designer. I'm an unabashed Grant Howitt fangirl, which you'll probably tell when we run another Grant Howitt game next month, but more on that later. He writes a lot of smaller games and a few big, larger games that you may have heard of, such as Honey Heist, Lasers and Feelings. He did Spire, Heart, and Goblin Quest as well. And I'll put a link to his Patreon and his Twitter page and his itch page, I believe, in the chat in just a bit. But the game we're playing today, let's get right here. It's called The Witch is Dead, and it's a one-page game with really easy to pick up rules. But as for the plot, well, let me just read from the actual page, albeit with a little bit of cleaned up language. So, once upon a time, there was a kind and wise and beautiful witch who lived in the forest with her familiars, and her life was peaceful and happy until an effing witch hunter broke in to her cottage and dragged her out and effing murdered her, and now she's dead. But if you get revenge and kill him and bring his eyes to her corpse within a week, she'll come back to life. Or so you've heard. Even if it doesn't work, at least he's dead. So, as you may have guessed, all of our players will be playing the Witch of Familiars, basically cute forest animals bent on bloody, bloody revenge. And speaking of those players, we'll have them introduce themselves now, and also their characters. Now, normally we would make the characters during the course of the stream, because it's a very simple character generation process, but because we want to do some graphics ahead of time, they've gone ahead and made those characters. So, Juniper, why don't you start?
Hi, I'm Juniper. I'll be playing Salem, little black cat. Gotta have the little white socks. Make it extra cute.
Justice?
Hi! Well, I am playing Marcel. Marcel is a fox. She's a little bit quiet. She likes to sit back in the background much of the time, but she's obsessed with cleaning everything and is extremely clumsy. So when she makes mistakes and she breaks something, she ends up having to clean it up right away.
All right. So, Ashley?
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I am playing Carrie, the Crow. I'm going to try and keep away from the less family-friendly crow activities as best I can. Pray for me.
I have cautioned them to try and keep it PG-13, at least for today. All right, and Cynthia?
Hi, I'm Cynthia, and I am playing Liggs, and Liggs is a good dog, and she only wants the best for her friend, the witch, and now her witch is not moving, and that's sad.
Yeah. All right. So one thing we do use on all of the all on the table shows is something we call the X card or the red card, and it's a rule that's used in a lot of different games and it's highly recommended for every table. And what it means is that at any point, if we hit a topic that's uncomfortable or triggering or in any way something you don't want to be doing, any player can say, I'm playing an X card, I'm playing a red card, or just say, stop. And we will stop and back things up and either redo that scene without that element in it, or if that can't be done, we'll just skip that scene entirely. So that being the case, are there any topics people want to say are off limits that they know would be off limits just to begin with? For example, in our Thirsty Sword Lesbians game, I have declared. Well, I didn't declare. I said that body horror is really uncomfortable for me, and so I prefer not to have that in the game. Do any of our players have any off limits topics that they want to get out just at the beginning?
Harm to small children.
Okay.
Like grievous harm. Like
Right.
inconveniencing someone is fine, but seriously injuring.
Right. Just a second here. I will say there is one scene that I do have planned that has a child in it. I can assure you now that the child will be in absolutely no danger.
Thank you.
So, if you want me to remove that entirely, I can do a different scene.
No, that should be fine.
All right, great. All right, so let's do the world setup now. The way it's set up in the game is someone rolls a d10 to determine what the village is going to be like, and then we'll roll to see what the witch hunter is going to be like, and then there's a roll to see what the twist in the game is going to be. Now, I've already done the twist in the game, but and that's something I keep secret from the players and from you, the audience. So who wants to roll to see what the village is going to be like?
Oh, I can do that.
All right. And while you do that, I'm going to close my blinds a little bit so I don't keep being too bright here. There we go.
And according to the almighty D10, the village is filled with cheery gnomes.
All right. Is everyone happy with that?
It sounds fun to me. I think this will be interesting.
All right. Well, does someone else want to now roll for the witch hunter? See what our witch hunter is like.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Got my trans D10 here, because of course I do. The witch hunter is guarded and cowardly.
Well, yeah.
All right. I think we can work with that. If we're all happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now there are a couple other questions that I like to ask before running this game. I've run it before, and I think these kind of help keep everyone on the same page. This is not actually part of the actual game structure itself, but I think it works. So what tone does everyone want? Do you want it light and funny? Do you want it grim and gritty with cheery gnomes and such? Or do you want it, comedically violent? Do you want it just, what Saturday morning cartoonish? What kind of tone do you all want?
Those all seem perfectly mutually compatible to me, but then I am playing the crow, so
Yeah.
I think somewhere in the light and funny and with comedic violence.
So
Okay.
Spoopy.
We're still out for revenge, but
Right.
we're in a village of cheery gnomes.
So we got to go for Spoopy then. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. And Justice, that sound good to you?
That all sounds really good to me. I think I'm kind of like the sarcastic style, where you're dealing with, this is really violent, this is really dangerous, but this is also cartoonish.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Squash and stretch style.
Exactly. All right. Well, now tell me about the witch. What is she like? Is she a creepy old hag? Is she light new age witch with lots of crystals around? Is she fresh out of magic school? What is she like?
I had my mind someone who'd been not fresh out of magic school, but had been in the village for a while helping people, and that just rubbed some of the people in power the wrong way.
Definitely. Very, very good-natured, kind of person, but some people don't necessarily agree with what she does.
Okay.
I kind of like the thought of mixing the creepy with the light and crystals, and the sort of, cheerful and kind and helpful that sometimes wraps all the way back around into creepy.
Okay. So,
I see.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that I see it kind of as she is extremely kind and loving to all of the familiars and all the woodland creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not so much to everyone else.
Well, maybe. Or maybe it's just if you cross her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea that she was actually, helping people, healing them, solving their problems for them, and so the Witchfinder killing her is not only bad for us, but it's actually bad for the community that he claims to be protecting.
Right.
Which
I was thinking.
which sounds like something a guarded and cowardly Witchfinder would do.
Yep. I was kind of thinking she's was the kind of person who is always, at the very least, the professionally nice when helping people.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just as nice and cheery when she decides she's had enough.
Okay.
And they never loses her temper. But it gets kind of weird that she's still all bubbly and cheerful while turning someone into a toad.
Okay. Well, then I think we've got a pretty good handle on the witch. So what I've got down for notes there just is in the village for a while, has been in the village for a while, and is good natured, but that good naturedness tends to rub people the wrong way. I'm interpreting that as sort of she does the right thing even when it's not the politically expedient thing. And she's always kind and happy. Well, not happy, but kind and joyous and loving. But sometimes she's so kind and loving and joyous that it wraps around to being a little creepy. So, all right. Why don't you tell me about the town? We know it's filled with cheery gnomes. Are they the only ones who live there, or do they live with humans, and what do they do there?
Well, obviously they're the gardeners.
All right.
And there's mushrooms.
All
Those
right.
mushrooms are good.
I think it's the gnomes were there, doing their agricultural gardening and mushroom harvesting, and some humans have started to move in, and the humans are the only ones with the problem with the witch. Like, everyone was fine until more humans started showing up.
Oh, okay.
I kind of get the feeling that the gnomes don't necessarily notice that the humans are there unless they have to. The humans are always aware of the gnomes, but the gnomes are just running around doing their thing, and occasionally they go, "Oh, human, have to go around that."
That the gnomes, maybe they notice that they're there, but they just don't care that they're there.
Yeah.
They're just doing their thing.
I don't have to prune them. I don't have to water them. Whatever.
Okay. Well, how big is the town? Is it a fairly small town, or is it starting to grow bigger? Is it, would you describe it as a hamlet? Or is it starting to be a city or growing concern? What do you
It's
think?
probably more decisive than a hamlet.
Okay. So town size, but not city size. Not so small that it's just a bump just a stop on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's big. I was going to say bigger than just a collection of farmhouses that are stacked near each other, but not really on the map yet,
Right.
kind of thing.
So there's like a tavern, an inn, but not like 5 taverns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The very minimum for a standard adventuring party to use it as home base.
Exactly. All right. Anyone else have anything they want to add? All right. Okay. So we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but what do you think the witch's relationship is with the town? We said that the gnomes liked her, but the humans who were moving in weren't as friendly with her. Is that kind of, did she, no, actually, let me back up 1 second. One thing I am going to say is that the witch didn't actually live in town. She's lived a little bit away from town, because if she lived in town, it'd be too easy for people to basically see her all the time. She was a little bit cagey about why. She always passed off as, "Oh, I just like it here," or so on. But you got the impression that she felt like if she was in town, she wouldn't have time for the stuff that she thought was important, because every random human wandering through town would just be bothering her for potions and things.
Yeah.
That being the case, did she get along well with the rest of the town? I guess she got along well with the gnomes. Anything else we want to say?
I think most of the people in town had come to her for something at one point or another, individually, but they never talked to each other about it.
Right.
So everybody thinks they're the only one who's shamefully visited the witch to get their warts cured or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was the main stumbling block in her relationship with the town as a whole.
Okay. And then, with that sort of thing going on, what was all of your relationships with the town? And we can do this individually if you'd like, but did you go into town and pick up supplies and bring them back, or did you avoid the town and just stay home, or what sort of thing did you do with the town?
Well, I'd like to think I was kind of the neighborhood stray, you know, the cat that just kind of snuck around, just kind of watching everything, and maybe getting a little close sometimes when I want pets.
Okay. So I'm sorry. So
No.
you did travel into town and sorry, I got distracted just for a second. You went to town and you did interact with the people, but you were aloof. You kept your distance, and unless you wanted something.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right. Sorry. Next. Cynthia.
Oh yeah. I think I went into town with her on her errands. I think having a medium-sized dog with her helped discourage anyone causing problems. I never saw that as my goal. Like, if anyone caused a problem, I'd be mad at them, but mostly it's a fun walk. I get to go sniff new things and meet new people.
Okay. All right. And then Ashley.
Let's see. I think that I first got involved with the witch by cleaning up her leftovers of the various things she was making, all the little bits that could still be eaten, and mostly hung around the trees around her place.
Okay.
But I'll occasionally flit into town and eavesdrop and that sort of thing.
All right. So you only saw the town from a distance, never up close and interacting with people.
Oh no, I would jump on the thatched roofs and go digging for bugs and hang
okay.
outside the tavern window and whatnot, but didn't try to engage the townsfolk. I mean, I could talk to them, but,
Actually, you couldn't. And this is actually one point that... yes. So, in the game itself, none of the familiars can talk with any other animals other than their own species. However, I house rule it to say that they can all talk with each other. But they can't, and the only human they usually can understand is the witch. There's actually, so all the familiars know one spell apiece, and I believe actually yours is speak to human. Oh, that's right, you can speak to humans.
Yes.
That's why I was, sorry.
It's okay.
It's been a long morning. So yes, so you can actually talk to humans and understand what they're saying. But that explains it for everyone else in the audience.
As to my engagement with the village, I stay very quiet. I slip in. I get cleaning supplies, and I slip out. There we go.
Okay.
Now I do have... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you probably do know, like, the owner of the cleaning supply shop. And they put it in a little backpack or a little bag that you can carry back to the witch's cottage. So, and that of course that shop is run by a gnome. So, all right.
And they do that for as. So is Juniper going to go?
Yeah, I had a question regarding the wording "similar species," because there are a couple species that are considered similar by most, definitions. So would that mean like foxes can talk to dogs, for example, since they're both canine-esque?
I would say it's a dialect thing, because I think foxes are vulpine as opposed to canine.
Right.
But I would say the languages are probably, it's like English and French, or basically languages that are similar enough that you can pick out a few words here and there and get kind of the gist, but you're not necessarily fluent.
So, as Spanish is to Portuguese, then?
Sure. Yes. Absolutely. So, and then I'm sorry.
I was just building off of the cleaning supplies thing, saying like that was probably an agreement. Like we'll put the cleaning supplies out for your fox as a payment for service that the witch had rendered to them.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I'm saying it's a gnome-run business, and they all love the witch, so they're happy to do that. And yeah, sounds good. All right, are we all ready to start, or are there any other questions? All right. Sorry, getting my pages all ready. So yes, no other questions. You all find yourself at the witch's cottage. She has just been laid to rest in the glass coffin behind her cottage that somehow she knew to have ready, even though she wouldn't explain to you why or how. But you knew to put her in there, and as the coffin lid closes, you know that you have only 7 days to get the witch hunter's eyes and bring them back. What would you like to do?
I want to start. I want to take a quiet moment now that we've closed the casket on her.
Mm-hmm.
and bow my head and whimper a little bit. And then I want to start sniffing around because if the Witchfinder killed her, then I want to see if I can find some clue of when he was here, which way he went. I'm eager to get going.
All right. Why don't you roll for me? So, the way stat rolls are done in this game, and I'm just explaining this for the audience, each character has 4 different stats. They are clever, which is interacting with humans, understanding humans and what they do. Fierce, which is basically intimidating, fighting, that sort of thing. Sly, which is sneaking, stealing, and hiding. And then quick, which is outrunning, climbing, that sort of thing. This seems like a clever roll. And normally what would happen is I'd give you a difficulty, and if you meet or exceed that difficulty, then you get to then you get success. But this time I'm just going to have you roll and see how high you get, and the better you roll, the more information you'll get. This is a clever roll, so you roll a d10 and add your clever stat to it. And I'm sorry for the folks in the audience. The stats go from 0 to 3.
So with my stat, that's an 8.
An 8? Oh wow, yeah. So first thing, you absolutely know the witch hunter scent. You will recognize that anywhere. Second, you get the smell of leather. They were probably wearing some sort of leather armor. You do smell a lot of blood, and you know.
Oh God, the blood!
But yes, so yeah, you can definitely recognize the witch hunter. You know that they were probably wearing light armor, and actually to you that actually says they were the way they were moving from the scent trail and all that. They're moving from one hiding spot to another, so they did not face the witch head on. They snuck from hiding spot to hiding spot and probably ambushed her. So that's what you get from that.
I let out a low growl at that because that makes it a little worse in my head.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Well, all I can think about is the mess. And it's so filthy in there. There's so much blood everywhere.
Actually,
I feel like I need to go into the house and start cleaning it up and see if there's anything there.
I'm going to say that you have actually already done that in preparation for the funeral. The only reason that and excuse me for the name that Liggs was able to smell all that blood is just because of her fantastic nose.
Canine mastery.
Yes. No one else would have noticed. So, but yes.
I don't know if I need to specify, but I do share the information with the other familiars.
All right.
Can you follow his trail back? I want to check his hiding places.
Let's see. Did I get a sense of where he was going when I was sniffing around, or just the sneaking?
You rolled high enough that I think that you should be able to at least follow the direction, and you can tell that after the deed was done, they did head back to town, or in that direction anyway.
Okay. I think they went this way, and I just start leading.
I follow along.
Okay. Does everyone go with?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, does Liggs have a collar?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
All right.
Right then, I'll just be perched on your back without anything to hold on to. Have my wings out every now and again for stability.
I suspect this is the kind of thing you've done before, and so I know how to like slow my walk a little bit so it's not as unsteady for you.
And I'm keeping an eye out for anything the hunter may have dropped or any adverse effect he may have had on the environment or anything like that as we go.
All right.
That must be a sight to behold, a crow riding a collie's back.
It's, well, folks, at least the gnomes around here are used to it.
Hey, flying takes a lot of energy.
It does.
So I will tell you that normally it takes you all a little less than a day to get to town.
Okay.
And there are a couple of things of note on the way. The first one, which is what you're about to encounter, is the maze in the forest. At least, well, let's put it this way: the path for you, because you're the witch's familiars, has always been straight and true. But you've heard from people who visited the witch that it isn't always for them. And you get the impression that if they have bad intentions, it's really easy to get lost in the forest here. But if they have good intentions, they can pass through. Unfortunately, that was what was going on when the witch was alive. Now it seems to be practically a maze. So, how would you like to try and get through this?
I was going to say, I can take wing at this point and get up above it and shout down directions.
You can. I will say that you can do that, and it will help. It will still be a little bit difficult because of all of the tree cover.
Mm-hmm.
But it will certainly be an assistance.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'd like to keep. Do I know? Is this something that I would be able to backtrack the Witchfinder sent through, or because of the nature of the maze, would it be different now?
Because of the nature of the maze, it's different.
Okay.
I mean, actually, as you're standing there, you actually notice a tree move.
Oh.
So,
Alright,
and I'll throw this out there. You can actually go around, but it is a pretty big chunk of forest, and it would add at least a day or so to your trip. Especially since you're not actually sure where the boundary of this ends.
As I'm flitting around in the branches, watching them go through the maze, is the witch hunter's path constant, even if the walls of the maze shift?
You actually can't tell that because she's only tracking the witch hunter's path through scent.
Right. But I can watch her and see when she acts like she's picked the scent up again.
Ah, good thought. Yeah. Okay. Why don't we make some rolls for that? First, let's do a I'm going to say this is a sly test to see if you can figure out the path. And let's see. There's really no good perception stat here in general, or no obvious one, I should say. I'm going to say actually, why don't we do a slide to assist your compatriots in their journeys, and that will be a difficulty 6. And then to figure out if the witch hunter's path stays constant, that is a clever test of difficulty, I'm going to say 7 on that.
So am I rolling the clever then?
I think she's rolling both.
Okay.
Okay. All right, that's an 8 on the guiding them,
Good.
and a 9 for the figuring out the witch hunter's path.
Wow. Okay. So definitely the witch hunter's path is seems to be in the same place, but the forest is moving around. Basically, the ground stays in the same place, but the forest itself is moving. If that makes sense.
Okay.
The trees and the shrubs move around, but the actual dirt and ground stays in the same place. And since that's what has the scent on it, it was a little tricky to figure that out at first because every so often, there's going to be a little bit of a scent on a tree, which is now in a different place, and so on. But the two of you working together can figure that out. As for getting them through the maze, you absolutely do that, and actually, with your assistance, it goes very quickly. Very quickly being a relative term, it is going to take you about half a day to get through.
Okay.
Just because it's not an obvious path, and the path keeps moving, and so on. So, but well done, you got through the forest maze. So
Cool.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, good work, Harry.
Yeah.
Around what time of day did we leave?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you left it around noon, so it's actually starting to get into the evening. And we'll say
Sun's going down, it's getting kind of dark.
It's getting kind of dark because it is autumn.
Is this something we need to be concerned about that we know of in this forest?
So again, the witch was a kind and generous person who was friend to all animals. And when she was alive, you need fear no other creature.
Ah.
However, you may have noticed that things have changed and you don't know if the local animals are, as friendly.
How big are the owls?
They vary in size depending on the owl, but there are some pretty big ones.
Do the cat and the fox and the sleek, beautiful crow have to worry about large owls swooping down?
Honestly, that's a question for you. Are you worried? I mean, it never was a problem before.
Well, yeah, but that's before I worked with the witch.
Right.
Was that something I was overly worried about? I mean,
before you worked with the witch, I'm going to say, as long as you kept you stayed out of some of the bigger hunting territories, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you entered the wrong territory or didn't know someone had established a territory there, then yeah, it could get a little hairy. And
okay.
and it's if you want to see if you recall where those territories are and hope that they stay the same, we can do a roll for that.
I'm just going to call out to people to keep an eye out for bits of small animal, and when they turn into bits of medium animal, start to worry.
Okay.
So,
I take it are you all willing to keep going?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'm willing to keep going. What other, are we dealing with more than just owls? Do we know what other creatures are living in this forest?
Oh yeah, there's at least a bear. You haven't seen any large hunting cats or anything like that. There are some more magical animals there. There are, for example, a family of sphinxes. There's a dryad that lives in one section of the forest. and some other things that you've encountered from time to time.
Anything that could be fairly described as big and or bad?
There is, at least since you've been living there, you've never encountered anything overtly hostile that's an immediate, oh my god, we have to run. And and again, the witch has only been dead for a day, and I hate to phrase it so bluntly, but your guess is that nothing really terrifying has had a chance to move in yet.
Hey, the maze turned on us, but it's only been a day. I mean, what else could be after us now? Really?
All right.
So- Yeah, my vote would be to keep going, at least get a little
Thank
closer to the
you.
village before we stop to rest.
Yep.
All right. Well, as you
I'll look for anything that's amiss.
Okay.
I'll look to see if any messes she discovers are edible.
All right. So, Marcel? Is it Marcel
Yes.
or Marcel?
It's Marcel.
Marcel, why don't you go ahead and roll Sly to see if you notice anything amiss. I'll say this is a 6 or better.
6 or better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I got a 9.
Ooh, okay. You don't see any signs that you don't expect. Yeah, no. At one point, when Liggs says that they picked up the hunter's trail, you actually catch sight of some boot prints and that sort of thing, but nothing that you wouldn't otherwise expect. So, for right now, the animals seem to still be staying clear of the forest path.
I'm gonna kind of be exploring up in the branches of the trees, kind of going from tree to tree. Just just make sure everything's kind of clear in terms of direct obstacles in our path.
All right, you do that actually, and as you're keeping an eye out for things, you suddenly run out of trees. As you well know, you've reached the edge of this part of the forest where there's a big, well, there's no other word for it, chasm that extends off in either direction and about as far down as you care to look. There is, however, a bridge across it, one of those long rope bridges with good sturdy slats in it. You've never worried about, one of the slats being, cracking or falling through. But there is a sphinx on it. And all of you would know this sphinx. His name is Reggie, and he's 5. And he probably shouldn't be out this late, but he's just sitting right in the center of the bridge.
Okay.
Now, I like I say, you know, even if you haven't met Reggie, everyone's kind of talked about, oh, if you've met Reggie, okay. He is very much a 5-year-old and acts accordingly.
Do we know Reggie's family?
Only from a distance. His moms are large and imposing winged sphinxes who are kind of terrifying even to Liggs. Now, they had a good relationship with the witch. There was, but they didn't come around very often. They kind of did their own thing.
And then one more question that's on background. This is another species that we can't communicate with, right?
I should be able to communicate with them.
Actually, they are a magical creature who speak animal, which is
Oh, good.
basically the version of common. Yes, actually, and Salem. Yes, you do. You speak. You understand them the best. You understand all of the things the best. But the others can make themselves understood and can understand. So.
I am
Okay.
just going to walk right up and just excitedly greet Reggie. I'm happy to see the
Okay.
Sphinx. I say hi.
Hi! How are you? Hi, Legs.
I am not good. We're a little sad. Our witch is dead, and we need to help her. But
Oh
how are
no,
you?
that's terrible. I'm so
Yes, it
sorry.
is.
I'm so sorry. That's bad. How are you going to help her?
Well, we need to find the witch finder.
Oh?
Well, part of him.
Part of it.
What?
Yeah, we think he's the one who did it, and we need to
Oh,
stop
well,
him.
yeah, you should totally go find him and do stuff to him and stuff. That's
But
mean of him to kill the
what
witch. I like the witch. She was nice.
we all did. But what are
She
you doing out
was.
here by yourself?
Oh, I'm doing important Sphinx business. I'm guarding the bridge and making sure no one passes without answering my riddles.
Ah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of hop up on the little post, look at him and go, "Hi, Reggie."
Hi, Salem. How are you?
Well, I think we'll do a lot better once we get to the other side of this bridge. Do you think you can let us across just for a little bit?
Oh, sure. Just as soon as you answer the riddles. You gotta answer the riddles.
So I'll
Very important.
hop up near the Sphinx and just kind of look up and say, "Hi, Reggie.
Hi. How are
Carry
you?
black. Find the witch hunter's eyes." Were those the right answers?
What? No, I haven't asked I haven't asked the riddle
Oh,
yet.
okay.
So here, I gotta ask you the riddle. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Here. Let me think. All right. So. All right. So. Um. It belongs to you, but your friend uses it more. What is it?
That would be our names.
Right. Right. So you can go. You can pass.
All of us are just
Salem
Salem.
gets a pass. Okay. Legs.
Okay.
You want the riddle? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. What runs but cannot walk, has a mouth but no teeth, and has a bed but cannot sleep.
Oh, is it a river?
Yeah, you got
Oh,
it. Yay.
good river. Good riddle, Reggie.
Thank you. All right. Carrie, you ready for a riddle?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. If you put this in your pocket, it leaves your pocket empty. What is it?
Do I look like I have pockets?
Oh, oh yeah.
Oh, never mind. Nothing.
Oh yeah. That's a good answer. I was gonna say it's a hole. If you put a hole in your pocket, it leaves your pocket empty. But if you put nothing in your pocket, it's also empty.
Yeah.
And also,
All right.
if you put the hole in your pocket, the hole is full of nothing.
That's true. Yeah, that's a really good answer. I'll have to remember that one. Thank you. All right. So, Marcel, have you gone up to the Sphinx as well?
I'm timidly coming across the bridge, but being very careful. Because again, I'm very quiet. But I'm here. I'd like to go with my friends.
Hi, Marcel.
Hi. I'm not too well. We're gonna make it. We'll make it.
Good. I'm sorry. I heard about the witch. That was really mean of the nasty old witch hunter.
It was so mean.
It's
He
right there in the
was. He was
name.
really mean. I'm so sorry. But can you answer my riddle so I can let you across?
I'll try.
Okay. All right. What goes up and down but never moves?
What goes up and down?
It goes up and it goes down, but it never moves.
I'm not so sure.
Um,
Oh no. Oh no, I'm trapped. Ah!
wait. You gotta answer the riddle. But how? Yeah.
Are we allowed to help?
I don't see why not. No one. It's her. It's her riddle, but no one ever.
You know, every once in a while when I visit the store, there's these stairs. And when I go up it and I go down it, but the stairs don't move. Could it be stairs?
Yeah! I got it! Yay! It's the stairs. Stairs don't move and go up and down. Yay!
Yeah.
Hey, okay. So do you want to answer some more riddles just for fun? Because I got to practice with riddles and stuff. And the riddles are really cool and important, and it's important Sphinx business.
I hear. Go for it.
Tell you what, Reggie.
Uh-huh.
When we come back, you can tell us all the riddles you want.
Yay!
I take my paw and kind of tussle his hair a little bit.
Aww. And just as you're doing so, you hear in the background a loud feline voice shouting out, "Reggie, time to come home." I gotta go. I gotta go now. Bye. I hope you beat up that nasty old witch hunter and do your thing. Bye. Sorry.
Bye.
And he
Bye.
flies off. And you are able to cross the bridge without further incident.
That was fun. He seems like a good kid.
All right. And from there, it's actually not that far to the town itself. Oh, so I'm actually going to take this moment. We never did name the town. Do you mind if I ask chat what they would like to name the town?
We should let the most recent sub. We should let the most recent
Oh,
sub.
that's right. And there is actually a sub here. Katerina. As a thank you very much for subscribing. Why don't you name the town for us if you want to? Otherwise, you can crowdsource a name or do whatever you like. All right. So, however, after dealing with Reggie, it is well and truly dark. So, would you like to keep going through the night, or would you like to? You've had a pretty eventful day so far, so you are starting to get a little tired.
I think, especially because most of the humans go to sleep at night, and so we're not going to be able to find out much, but I think it's a good time for us to get some rest, maybe a little away from the village where we weren't be discovered.
Okay.
Does everyone else agree?
I think
Or any else thoughts?
Yeah.
It's always good to go in with a clear head.
All right. So you sleep without incident, and the sun comes up the next morning, and the day looks, well, quite frankly, just about as grim as it did yesterday. But you're at least closer to town. And how would you like to approach the town?
Carefully.
Of course, you would want to take the clean route, wouldn't you?
Of course.
I
I'll probably just sneak around the building, stay in kind of the in between houses, do the stray cat thing.
All right.
I was gonna fly a little bit ahead and see if there was anybody out and about we needed to avoid.
Okay.
Do like a fly over the buildings and whatnot.
I think I should visit my friend, the shopkeeper.
Okay.
I think I am going to stick with Marcel, but keeping a nose out in case there's anyone dropping any breakfast around.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So
Chicken.
I'm going to go ahead and make these. Have you make some rolls. I will note that all of these are going to be so some of these are going to be dangerous rolls, and dangerous rolls for the audience is a mechanic in this game. If you fail a dangerous roll, then you get a point of danger on your character. And if you ever roll equal to your danger or lower on any roll, then something bad happens. It doesn't mean you die or or injured or something like that. It just means you are suddenly in a very bad situation. So Salem, slinking around town is going to be dangerous. Why don't you give me a sly roll against a difficulty of, let's say that's it's a 7.
Okay. 10.
10, excellent. You make it go through town with no incident. Carrie, you're flying overhead and just scouting things out, keeping an eye on things. This is actually also going to be a dangerous roll because you're not sure who's looking for you as well. But it's only a 6, I'm going to say, and I'm going to say that this is a clever roll.
That came out an 8.
8? All right, you guys are on fire today with these rolls. All right, and then Liggs and Marcel, you're headed for the friend, your friend, the cleaning supply person's house. Are you just sort of marching right on over there, or are you trying to keep out of sight, or how are you doing that?
I don't see any reason to keep out of sight. The gnomes have never done anything bad to me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm just walking down the middle of the street next to my fox friend.
Okay.
Even sometimes they give me a chicken, so.
All right. All right, so you're walking towards your cleaning friend, the supply friend's house. We should really come up with a better name for that. Hovel, Bath, and Beyond, or something like that. So you're on your way to Hovel, Bath, and Beyond, and from down a alleyway, you actually hear a voice. Let me grab something here. Excuse me, you don't hear a voice. Liggs, you smell a delicious dinner.
Oh.
And just on the ground. And everyone knows floor chicken is the best chicken.
Of course.
Of course.
Always.
Yeah.
It gets those extra flavors mixed in.
Yeah, and your stomach is growling because you didn't really eat anything in the last day or so. So...
I am really curious, but again, I'm very cautious, and I'm always about keeping things clean and keeping things picked up. So, can we check it out?
You absolutely can. Why don't you give me sly checks? these are also dangerous, and they are I'm actually saying these are an 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Liggs is not very sly. That's a 2.
Oh, okay. Mark a point of danger.
Marcel. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Marcel got an 8 sly.
Ooh, you exactly made it. So, what you notice, but Liggs doesn't. What Marcel notices, but Liggs doesn't, is that there is a rat paying very close attention to the food there, and also there's a toad just sitting on like a barrel in this alley. Now, I'm going to ask if Carrie can make a slide check, and just tell me what you get here.
10.
You notice, as you're looking around, you notice Liggs turned down an alleyway, tail wagging. And
for rock's
you know
sake.
that is not on the route.
Right, I'll fly over that alley.
Okay, and then
I'm yelling out to Liggs. Liggs, stop!
So that Salem, why don't you make a roll to see if you hear that? We'll say that's also a sly roll. I'm just gonna make that. Just tell me what you roll.
Another 10.
Another 10. Yeah, you hear Liggs, stop. But Liggs has walked down this alley, and as you there is a big roast chicken there, some potatoes, that sort of thing. It smells delicious, but you hear a voice saying, "What's all this then? Looks like we found ourselves a familiar. Familiar from the old witch." And it's coming from the toad that's sitting up on the barrel. And you all understand this, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I stop and look back and forth between the toad and the chicken. I'm deciding what to do. Because that chicken still looks good.
The rat snickers and says, "Yeah, looks like we got here some familiars. But not familiars for much longer, the way I see it."
How quickly do I get there?
You're there pretty quickly. I would say, actually, they say that just as you come around the corner.
So I see the rat and the toad?
You see the rat and the toad.
And I hear what the rat says.
And you hear the rat, just the last bit, you hear that the rat just said something and that you could understand it, which is not good. Whereas, and I will say, Carrie, by the way, you notice that there is a magpie flying around that's just landed on a roof in that alley. And Juniper, as basically after the rat stops speaking, you see a spider coming down from one of the eaves of the house, and a very high, whispery voice says, "Yes, well, we won't be needing them anymore. Neither will she." Again, you all understand this.
So, I drop down out of the sky onto the toad's back.
Okay, that is going to take a fierce test. And I will say this is dangerous.
It looks like that adds up to all of 6.
Ooh, so you dive down to try and land on the toad, but sensing the danger, it hops out of the way. You do sort of get just a nick on its side from your claws or your talons as you land, but it hops away to another barrel, and says, "Well, we shouldn't be fighting. Not like you're going to be, not like you have anything to do around here anymore." And it is going to react by, what did I say that? Toad has. All right. The toad gets a really strange, concentrating look on its face, and a lantern that was hanging up at sort of just above where it was sitting comes crashing down.
Oh.
So I would like you to make, again, a dangerous quick roll to get out of the way.
And that one's a 7.
7. Okay, so you do so, and you hop to a different barrel this time. What would everyone like to do as this is going on?
I am going to position myself between the rat and Marcel, because that's, to me, that seems like the biggest threat right now, and start growling and ask, what are you doing here?
Well, we're just taking over for the new witch in town. We're the new familiars. See? You guys aren't needed anymore. And we're just here to tell you that. And make it clear.
I let out a small foxy growl.
Okay?
This town has a witch, and we're going to get her back, and we do not need you here.
All right.
I hop up on a barrel or a crate or something, just that I'm a bit higher, and I'll be like, well, this looks tasty. And I'm not talking about the chicken.
Who are you looking at when you say this?
The rat.
Ah. Rat. Okay. Yeah. Just try it, lady. See what you get. This is not a small rat, I will say. They're definitely much bigger, but this is not a small rat.
It's a dire rat.
Rats get, yay big.
Yeah. But this rat just directly threatened my friend, so I am going to lunge at it and try to grab it by the neck and throw it down the alley away from us.
Okay. Give me a fierce check.
That's a 6.
Okay. I'm going to say you lunge at the rat and frighten it, and it leaps away just before you can close your teeth on it. But that is technically a failure, so you do get a point of danger. So I'm going to say, just so people know, in general, combat is a dangerous role.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Salem, did you want to do anything more with that?
I kind of turn and flick my tail at the rat. Just kind of a, like a scoffing gesture.
You give sass, is what you do.
Yes. I'm
right.
sassing him.
Perfect. You don't even need to roll for that. It's just an innate rat ability. All right. So, Marcel, are you? Did you want to do anything after Liggs lunged at the rat?
I am still curious. I'm going to take a look at the toad, and I'm going to say, you said no witch. Tell me more. I'm a little confused. Our witch is the best witch. Why? What is wrong?
Your witch is a dead witch. Ours is the
Not
new
for
witch.
long.
We'll see about that. Our witch is she's going to be the only witch here in town.
I'm going to flit up from the barrel to the roof where the magpie is watching.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of land reasonably near the magpie and tilt over like, really? What the caw, dude?
Yeah, I know, it's dumb, and they wanted to do this, and look, I'm not on board with it either, but kind of got to do what the witch wants us to do, and I mean, that's why, and she's the new witch in town, so look, I thought they were being dumb too.
Mm-hmm.
If you and I just want to sit this one out, I'm fine with that.
Well, maybe. I mean, we got an angle. And it sounds like your new witch isn't all that good at hiring decent help.
Yeah, I mean, they're dumb and aggressive, but, boys.
Hey, does your witch give you the juicy bits after she takes, like, the bits she needs for her magic?
I mean, sometimes, and I've gotten a couple.
Oh, sometimes.
I got
That's pretty good.
Some metal. That's pretty good, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty good, yeah. Our witch, I'm gonna miss her so much. She was just the best. You know how you have witches who are like using Wing of Bat and Eye of Newt and all that?
Yeah.
She'd give me the rest of the Newt. The whole thing.
Hey, that is pretty good.
Yeah, it's too bad she's gone.
I'm kind of. I mean, maybe I can get you in good with our witch, because she's
maybe
good. I mean, it's not a bad life here.
I get that. I hear you. That sounds like a good plan. But hear me out.
Uh-huh.
We got an angle. We might be able to get our witch back.
Is that the eyes thing? Because I don't
Maybe.
know how it works.
Hey,
right, so
if it doesn't, we can always go with your plan. But if you want to come over to our side, I can get you in with an experienced witch, with an established clientele. All kinds of shiny stuff she doesn't even need for magic. But hey, you've got a witch. I'm sure she's a perfectly okay witch. Up to you.
All right, why don't you make for me a sly roll, and I don't think this is necessarily a dangerous roll. I think that you two are at least talking. This is not necessarily dangerous. So just roll and tell me how well you do.
Well, I'll have to find the die. Which is not a good sign.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
The fates conspire against us. Give me a moment.
All right. So while you're doing that, the only the only creature that hasn't taken a turn this time is the spider. And the spider is going to... so the alley you're in is kind of a dead end, and it is going to create a wall of fire at the other end. Now, this is a lot of fire, even for folks who know what the create fire spell can do. But it is a spider, and they're kind of known for being able to do stuff like that. Well, right, not really, but this one apparently can. So you're all trapped in there behind the fire.
Does my make flame spell help me get rid of flame at all, or is it just creating flame?
You could try to make a bigger flame to eat up the other one's, air, but
When you're
We're
outside, there's a lot of air.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
Well,
I
so
wouldn't recommend
I'm
trying to
going
burn
to
up all the
say-
fuel either.
I'm going to say yes, although yes in theory, but it's not necessarily something you've done before. When you create a flame normally, you can just put it out. The putting out someone else's flame is going to be kind of weird, but you can give it a try. It will be dangerous because anytime you use magic, it's dangerous. And I will say it is because magic is a human thing. This is going to be a clever test, and it is. I'm going to say it's difficulty 8.
Okay.
So I always carry a certain amount of cleaning supplies always on me. I got a little spray bottle. Can I add to her roll with a spray bottle?
I will say yes if you're working together for something like this.
Because I have to clean the mess up.
That down to. I'll drop it down to a 7.
All right. Doesn't matter. That's a 3.
Okay, you did not roll below your danger though, so that's good. But you do get another point of danger, so your danger is now at 3. Poor Liggs. All right.
Oh no, Wiggs.
So basically, I will say that you reduce down the flames a fair amount, but you don't get rid of them entirely. So there will still have to be some doing to get out of there. And the spider, seeing that you are doing that, is going to leap on you and try and bite.
I am gonna try to jump out of the way.
All right. Why don't you roll a quick test? And why don't you tell me what you get?
Got a 9.
9. You do so flawlessly. The spider lands on the ground. All right.
Is it still attached to its web? Does it have a line going, or did it just jump?
It just jumped.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it does not currently have a line attached.
This being an alley, have they piled any crates or boxes that I can jump up all the way onto to get out?
Yes.
How big is the spider?
It is about that big. So, about the size of a silver dollar. And I will say, it after Liggs jumped out of the way, it did land right in front of Marseille.
So I'm going to snip at it. That was not nice. That's a snip.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and roll your fierce?
Okay.
And I'm going to say, because of all the stuff that's happened before, it's only going to take a 6 to snap at it.
And with my fierce, that is an 11.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, you basically bite the spider and can eat it if you'd like. Just
I'm
devour it.
going to bite at the spider, but I ain't going to eat that thing.
Okay. It is, let's be kind, it is incapacitated. It is out of this fight. It is not happy in any way.
I take my little dustpan, I brush it up, and push it in the corner. Do you hear?
With it
That's
gone,
what you did for making cobwebs.
is its fire spell still going though?
Actually, that stops the fire spell,
Oh
I'm
boy.
going to say.
Oh,
Especially since you reduced it earlier.
Windex to the rescue.
All right. So let's get back to Salem, actually, now, while all this has been going on. Salem, what are you going to do? You got this thoroughly sassed rat here.
I think I'm gonna try and pounce at it, claws out.
Okay. All right, roll your fears. This is a dangerous roll. It's yeah. Go ahead and roll.
It's a 5.
Okay, you don't. Again, the rat leaps out of the way, belying its bulk, because it's a kind of a fat old rat, but it leaps out of the way and brings one paw to its nose and it's something like that while blowing a raspberry. So unfortunately, that does give you a point of danger, though.
Okay.
So, Carrie, while you're
So, apparently the die leapt to the floor to keep me from rolling that 5.
Okay. So the magpie, who for you learn her name is Maggie,
Oh.
says, "Look, the witch taught me all sorts of stuff and made me a familiar. I don't think I can actually go back on that. But like I say, I think those people down there are being kind of dumb. So if you and I wanted to stay out of this, I'm fine with that."
I look around. Where's the toad at?
The toad is sitting on a barrel, kind of assessing the situation, and is just seeing the spider get taken out, and the rat being worried, and it looks up at you two, and sort of like gives Maggie an exasperated look. Yeah, and even you can see that on the toad's face. And that's kind of what you see as of right now.
All right. So, I'm gonna flit over to the roof on the opposite side of the alley, directly over the toad, and just drop him a little present on the way across.
All right, I'm gonna say that is a fierce test, but it is not dangerous because what's the toad gonna do?
Yeah.
And yeah, just go ahead and roll that. That I'll even say that is a 6 difficulty because that's what birds do.
Well, it's a good thing it's not dangerous because I rolled a 2.
Okay, all right. So a present lands right next to the toad, who just glares at you. Even Maggie's like, "All right, that was a little childish." She's now a little, feeling a little better about her decision not to go with your witch.
Oh, come on. It would have been really funny if it had worked.
It would have. It would have. All right. So now that the fire's out, the toad says, "All right, I think we've made our point," and hops out of the alley. The rat is like, "Yeah, just remember," and sprints out of the alley, picking up the spider on the way. And Maggie just goes, "What are you gonna do?" And flies off. Are you gonna let them go, or
I'm gonna follow at a discreet distance the other bird.
I'm just gonna chase after the rat.
I was
I'm
actually
mad.
going to attempt to not necessarily block their path, but try and trip them up by making like vines and thorns grow underneath them with my plant growth spell.
Ooh, okay. And actually, that's right. You haven't made it. No, you had had. Well, anyway. Yes, I will absolutely let you do that. It is a dangerous roll. So, and I'm going to say that is to actually trip them up before they get out. I'll say that is a 7.
What modifier am I using?
I'm sorry. You are using clever.
Okay. Ouch.
What?
I rolled a nat 1.
And that
I
is
have
what
no
your
modifier.
danger. And that
And
is
I
what
have
your
no
danger is.
modifiers. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So that puts you in a dangerous situation, which is so you basically they uh, get out of the alley just before your plant growth comes up, and you were so interested in basically so intent on catching them before they left, you put a little bit too much power in it, and now the weeds and stuff that were all around you are uh, basically starting to twine around your legs and start to wrap around you. And all actually in about actually starting to go all the way down the alley. So, what would you like to do about this?
Um. Well, I'm going to first issue a warning to my compatriots. Get out of here now. And then I'm going to try my best to quickly get away before it gets to be too much.
Okay. All right. Roll your quick.
Please be nice to me this time.
Well, you guys have been rolling pretty well in general, except for
That's a 4.
okay. So you try and quickly get away, but the vines have already wrapped up too much of your legs. Um, the rest of you, what are you going to do?
I am going to run back and try to bite at the vines to try to help Salem get free.
Okay. Carrie, what are you going to do?
I am following the other familiars still.
Okay. And Marcel, what are you?
Well, I have sharp claws and I have sharp teeth, and so Salem is a friend, and I want to protect my friend. It's kind of a thing in mine.
All right. So why don't you both roll your fears? I'm going to say this is not dangerous, but if you roll less than, say, 3, you're going to get tangled up in the vines as well.
I got a 4.
Okay, so...
And you said this is a fierce or a quick?
Fierce.
I got a 3.
Okay, so... Liggs, you're trying to bite at the vine, and you don't make it. They're just growing too fast. You don't make enough progress, but you are able to, keep yourself from getting caught up. Marcel, you're not quite as lucky. They start twining around your feet as you're so intent on biting the vine that's going around Salem there. So, meanwhile, Carrie, why don't you give me a sly test? See how well you're able to follow them.
That's a 6.
A 6. Okay, so you follow them back to a. Basically, you see the rat run into the door on a little shop in town, and basically, as you do so, Maggie comes up and says, "Hey! Just you made your point. Back off."
I just want to know where I should go to apply if I need to.
All right.
Y'all have yourselves a nice day.
You too.
And then
Good
I'll
luck.
turn around and head back.
All right. So, let's see. I will actually let anyone who wants make a clever test. Let's say at a difficulty of 8, and I'll give you a piece of remind you of a piece of information if you make it. Not dangerous or anything like that.
I can do it. I've got a clever too.
I got 8 exactly.
Okay.
My, what a beautiful sky I'm flying through.
You're still not entirely. You don't know how bad it is back at the alley anyway. So for Marseille, Marcel, did you roll the?
Here, I'll roll real quick.
Okay.
That's a 2.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have any danger anyway. Don't need to worry about that. So, Liggs, what you remember is this is an entire town of gardeners who like the witch.
I am gonna run out into the street and look for a gnome that I recognize.
Okay. I'll say you find one pretty easily.
Okay.
What's wrong? Little Timmy got trapped down the well?
Yeah.
I'm gonna run up and trying to kind of just nudge them in the direction of the alley, like run towards the alley and then back at them and try to get them to follow me. Just trying to convince them.
And it's a little bit of the wah 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 because all the humans and gnomes in town sound like the parents in a Peanuts cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Wah, 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 wah.
Exactly. But actually, give me a clever roll to see if you can convince them. I'll say it's only a 6.
Still not enough. It's 4.
These dice have turned on you guys today.
Yeah.
All right. He's like, huh? What are you? Tries to pet you, and it's okay. It's okay. I will say that Harry, you've come back at this point and sort of see what's going on and see what Liggs is doing. And you know Liggs well enough to have figured out what he's trying to do.
I will land on Liggs's back and just look at the gnome and say, "Hey, you got a rake?"
Are you gonna cast Speak Human?
Sure.
All right. So that is a dangerous test. I will say it is only a 6. It is a clever.
And I rolled a 9.
Yay! The gnome is like, huh? What? Oh, you're the you're the witch's bird there. Yeah. You need
Yeah.
a rake or something?
Well, the alley over there is in desperate need of clearing and weeding. And look out for the familiars tangled in the vines.
That looks like one of them their magic plant growth spells. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
There. Say your friends are in there?
Yeah, well, that's why we don't usually let the cat garden.
Okay. I see how it is. Okay.
Well, that's all right. Well, let me see what I can do. And he kind of walks over and pulls out a pair of garden clippers that all gnomes always have on them, of course, and just starts going to work. And in pretty short order, you're all free.
Mm-hmm.
And the alley is now kind of a lush little hidden garden.
I'm going to take a look back and see if the chicken is still edible.
This is definitely cleaner.
Yeah, the alley does look much nicer. The chicken is actually there. However, the the potatoes, even though they were roasted, have somehow sprouted and are now like growing plants that have flowered and everything.
I realize I should probably just walk away, but I'm gonna be sad about it.
Okay. I mean, the chicken is still. I mean, it's still floor chicken.
I
Yeah,
like me
but
some
Oh,
chicken.
floor chicken.
Yeah, but we should deal with these other familiars who attacked us and their witch.
I know where they live.
Oh? Can you lead us there?
Yeah, just a sec. I turned to the gnome. Hey, buddy, beautiful work. You wouldn't
Thanks.
happen to know where the witch hunter stays, would you?
Yeah, that guy. He's a little creepy.
Yeah, a
No,
little bit.
he came into town. He kind of shows up and then leaves, and then shows up and then leaves. I don't know. I
Do you
don't.
know which way he comes from?
No, I just you turn around, he's kind of there. Really freaky.
All right. Thank you. Thanks
Yeah,
a bunch.
no problem. And if you need anything, just let me know.
Oh, don't worry. We'll think of you first for all our gardening needs.
All right.
So, they're this way.
You are now in the nice hidden garden that was once a dirty old alley. How would you like to proceed?
How about I
I'm gonna leave the hat off for now.
look to rooftops and just, point which way to go? That way I can keep an eye out ahead while y'all know where we're going.
Okay.
Well, sounds good.
All right. Well, you can do that without incident. Well, actually, let me put it this way. You can lead them there with no problem. That's not going to take a roll or anything. Are you trying to sneak through town, or are you trying to? Are you just walking straight on over there?
I'll try
think
and
walking straight
lead
on over,
them
but, like-
around in a non-obvious way.
Okay.
I'm pretty experienced with the back alleys of this town. So
Okay, yeah, I'll follow the two of their leads, keeping an eye out for any more unexpected animals or floor chickens.
Okay. Why don't you all give me a actually, why don't I have Carrie give me a sly check just for the route, um, and we'll see how well
All
you
right.
get through.
Really? That adds up to 3. It started as a 1.
Ooh. Okay. Fortunately, you don't have any danger currently. So it's not. You thought it was going to be a circuitous route, but it turns out that like a small farmers market has been set up on a street just kind of spontaneously, as far as you can tell. And so there's actually kind of a crowd there. And so you back off, but not before a couple of the humans are kind of like, ew, witches familiars, yeah. And but the gnomes would just kind of shrug it off because they don't really care. So you're not exactly, stealthing it up, but it doesn't really seem to be that much of a problem either. At least not as far as you can tell right now. So you do eventually get to a small cottage. Well, no, let me back up. Sorry, a small storefront that has a nice, freshly painted sign hanging from the eaves that has a witch's hat and a couple of potion bottles on it. The storefront itself actually looks kind of shiny and freshly refurbished. You don't really remember it being there last time you were in town. So, there you are.
I am gonna sniff around at it and see if I recognize the witch hunter's scent at all.
Oh yes, no, absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
He has been here several times.
I let them know he's been here. Whoever it was, they killed our witch, and that's who we need to find.
Liggs, why don't you give me a clever roll?
Okay.
I'm looking for a 7 or better.
I got a 3.
Okay. So that yeah, you're really no. You had a thought for a second, but it kind of bounced. So, all right. Oh yes, that nice, freshly cleaned windows. Actually, Marcel, you're actually kind of impressed with how tidy it is.
Is there anything open that any of us could go inside through?
Well, I mean, let's see.
Any kind of holes that are big enough, at least for my head.
There is actually a rat hole that someone may have darted in recently. But and you might be able to fit your head in there.
Because if I can fit my head in, I should be able to fit myself in.
It looks
I am a
like
cat after all.
Yeah, it looks like it would be tight at best. I mean, in other words, you might be able to get in, but you might not be able to get back out.
Mm.
And speaking as someone who's had a lot of cats, that kind of thing is absolutely something a cat can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, this is speaking a bit out of character here, but I think maybe our friend Liggs could possibly pull me out if I needed help.
Yeah, absolutely.
But how big is I don't remember the crow's name.
Carrie.
Carrie. How big is Carrie?
About the same size as you, actually, but not as,
Okay.
as dexterous, not as flexible. Mm-hmm. So let me set the scene a little bit better here as well. The witch storefront, because that's clearly what it is at the end of a row of shops. So it has the end storefront. So you can go around 3 sides of it. Right next door is actually let's say it's a bakery. And you've let's see, Liggs, you've been in that bakery before.
Okay.
So, and actually, Marcel, you actually no, you haven't, because the only place you go in town is to the cleaning supply place.
Yeah,
To
I'm
hobble
gonna
back
avoid
to the yard.
everyone else.
Yeah.
I've probably been behind there, looking through
Oh,
through the dumpsters for scraps, but
You like
Yes,
a good
absolutely.
chocolate donut.
And you've actually had to keep the chocolate donuts away from Liggs before.
But they smell so good.
but you
The
can't have
raspberry
them.
filled ones, those just create such a mess. And then it creates my anxiety, so I just can't do it.
Oh yeah, that time that Liggs got raspberry jam all over.
It
the car.
went everywhere. It was such a
I
hot
mean-
dog.
Do I remember from being in there if they
Believe it
connect to the neighboring stores at all?
They don't connect. Excuse me. Not used to talking this much. They don't connect, at least on the ground floor. They may have a basement or a storage room or something like that. So not in the areas you've seen.
Okay.
We appear to be having some technical difficulties right now with Ashley. Video is still on the stream, but audio is gone.
Oh, so audio? Ashley, can you hear us?
I can't.
Okay.
I think it's
It might be through the stream that it's gone. I don't
Yeah.
know. See if we can figure that out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Try
refreshing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can still see her.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, for everyone listening in, this is our producer, Emily. She's helping us out with all the technical stuff today. So thank you, Emily.
It's the voice of the goddess
Yes.
talking from above.
Yeah, it's not showing up on. I made it so they can hear me now. So while we're working on this, we can fix it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just didn't know if it was coming through the program or not. Yeah. So
we can still see you.
Yeah, you can see you on. Well, you can see her in Video Ninja, in the website.
Yes.
There?
Yeah, we can.
OBS
Yeah.
And we can see her and hear her.
I don't know why she's not showing up for me anymore.
Do you need her to log out and log back in, or basically reload the page?
Can you talk real quick, Ashley?
Yeah, I see. I'm not getting any of that. That's weird.
I would refresh. I'd refresh.
I'm gonna try refreshing. Let's see what that does to the stream.
Okay. So.
Okay. All right. So I heard somebody giggling. Ashley, why don't you go ahead and talk a second?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. I'm back.
Yeah.
We all good?
All right.
I hear her on the transfers, so.
But it looks good. Okay. Well, I guess that was it. Small little technical glitch. Going back on mute. Please proceed.
Thanks, Almighty Goddess.
Yes, thank you, Emily.
Okay, I don't need to hold on tight to Fox anymore, but
Okay.
you can still sit here for a bit.
That really did the trick. All right. So where were we? Outside the
outside the witch's shop.
Yep.
So yes. So in the areas you've seen, they do not connect. There are other parts of the shop that they don't allow animals in. Usually, even witches' familiars. So
Prejudice, I tell you.
It's everywhere.
Yes, there are always good scraps behind the bakery. So, how would you like to proceed?
Hey, Carrie, can you come translate for me?
Sure.
I let her hop on my back and go around to see if the back door to the bakery is open, or if there's anyone back there.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice day. They have the back door open to let some ventilation in, and this is actually into the kitchens, where you've never actually been before. Although, like I say, Salem probably has, and then got chased out. It is a human bakery.
Oh, it's a human bakery, not
a human-owned bakery. They supply baked goods to all the town.
Okay.
They're not racist.
But
I'm sure. I'm sure Cute Dog could get a little bit of scraps from them, but
Yeah, I just go in and sit just inside the door and say, hey, can I have some help?
Right. Do you need me to roll for Speak Human again?
I think so. Although since you still have a little bit of it up, it's going to be a fairly easy roll. What'd you get?
3?
No, not that easy. And unfortunately, that is a dangerous roll. So you
Yes, it
just
is.
got anywhere.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
All right. But you do sort of bark and whine and get someone's attention, and the baker actually comes over and says, actually, it's the baker and, well, they say it's the baker and the baker's wife. No, they're both bakers. They the woman baker comes over and it's like, hey, aren't you that witch's dog?
I whack my tail and bounce a little bit.
I should let you know that was a natural 1 on my 1 danger already, in case that matters.
It doesn't actually. Only
Okay.
when rolling for danger, when you have danger.
Well, magic
So-
is always dangerous, you had said.
Right, but you didn't have any danger currently. Now you have a
Okay.
point of danger. So from this
I
point, if you roll
am
1
happy
or
with
less,
that.
which you can't actually roll less, but just let me know.
Okay.
Can
yeah,
I,
the only reason I got in a dangerous situation after rolling a 1 is because I had no modifier to my roll. So mine was a 1 plus 0, which made it a 1.
Okay. Right then.
And so go ahead, Marcel.
just to double check, are we doing zeros as 10 or zeros as 0?
0 is 10.
Okay. Okay. So maybe those rolls were actually better than I said they were.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, we'll
this
know
is
next time. It's a learning
Oh,
process.
well, let's keep this up.
All right.
I figured I better double check on that one.
that's okay.
Your program to start at 0. Everything starts at aught 0.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's. I completely understand. All right, but the witch is over, and actually, so her saying, "Aren't you that witch's dog?" That's the last thing that Carrie understands as the magic fades away. So now it's back to the wah 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 sounds.
But if I have her attention, I'm going to try to lead her out the back door and next to the next shop over.
Okay. Why don't you give me a clever roll and see how well you do?
Okay. That's a 2, so that's not going to work.
Okay, and actually, because of your danger level, that puts
Oh,
you
yeah.
in a situation.
Yes.
So you're trying to lead her back over there when the back door opens and a young human woman dressed all in black, wearing with a bunch of silver jewelry on, and like the pentagram and crystal earrings and like way too much makeup for some reason.
So very new age witch. Gotcha.
Yeah. But she opens up the back door to like throw some old soup out onto the street, and actually some of it catches your tail, and you're a little bit messed up by it.
Ooh.
But she looks says, she says, actually you can understand this because she's a witch. Says, that's where you got to. And then the baker says something, and which is like, it's okay. Why don't you go back into the bakery. I'll handle this.
I'm so distracted by the mess on Leg's tail.
I'm up like on the roof, kind of.
Okay.
Just like keeping a watch over everything, just trying to stay out of sight as best as possible.
Okay. And the witch is like, so you're trying to do the eye thing, aren't you? Well, you might as well just give up now. I made sure she's dead. I'm going to make sure she stays dead. This is my town now. She should never have had it in the first place.
That just makes me mad. I'm going to growl and... I'm going to take a kind of defensive stance and growl at her because I'm unhappy with this. I'm not sure I want to attack a witch right now, but I'm still not happy.
Okay.
I want her to know I'm...
Are you trying to intimidate?
Yes.
Okay, then I need a fierce roll from you.
Okay.
If I clean Leg's tail off, is it more fierce?
I'm sorry, what?
If I make sure her tail is clean, is it more fierce?
I feel like that just looks funny.
Right now might detract a little from the situation, and so you're just kind of like, I should clean that, but let Legs do this, and then I'll clean it after. Okay.
There we go.
Actually, you're probably well aware that Legs will clean it after because it was soup that was thrown.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just have other priorities right now.
Right, absolutely. So.
All right. So you said, I'm sorry, in all that I lost what the modifier is. Fierce. Okay. That's a 9.
She actually steps back. She kind of apparently was counting on her being a witch to intimidate you, and you were not intimidated. So she steps back like, well, yeah. Why don't you run off then? Huh?
As she steps back, I'm going to step forward, trying to keep the distance the same. And
I'm going to move with you, and I'll let a little yips.
All right.
While she's distracted by the terrestrial animals, I want to flap around her and into the back door of her shop.
I'm gonna try and sneak into the open door as well.
Okay, so from Carrie, I need a quick test, and this is a dangerous test.
Well, expletive deleted. 4.
4. Okay, so you don't trigger your danger, but you do get a point of danger. I'm going to say you do get past her, but she definitely notices you do it.
Okay.
Salem, why don't you give me a slide check? Sneak in.
7.
Okay, with all the commotion, you easily sneak past, especially as she turns to look at Carrie zip by.
See, that's why I distracted her on purpose.
Yes,
totally on purpose.
All right. So as you, so Salem sneaks in just before the witch is backed over the threshold into her shop. Are you going to keep backing her in?
I'm going to try to. I want to get her in there and get in with her. Get out from the street.
She backs up. You managed to do that. But as she backs into a table, she turns around and grabs a big red crystal and is like, all right, that's enough out of you. I want you out of my shop right now. And points the crystal at you.
She doesn't know I'm in there, right?
Nope. And you too, she actually says to to Carrie. Don't think I didn't see that.
What's the inside of the shop look like? Are the other familiars here?
This is the back room. This is apparently not where the familiars are usually, or where. Well, they're not there here now. Looks like more like a workroom, not too dissimilar to your witch's workroom, um, although maybe a little bit messier, maybe a little more new agey. So a lot more crystals, a lot more, you know, uh, sort of smelly unguents that you are familiar with being something that your witch said, no, never use these. It's pointless. Basically, your witch would have been very polite and also very mean while sounding very polite about this workspace. Marcel, it is not tiny and not tidy in here.
Oh no!
It is it. There's been stuff spilled and hastily maybe wiped up a bit, and yeah.
So I would imagine that with my skills of being tidy and tidying up after my witch, I would have a pretty good understanding of what goes where and why it goes there. Can I be able to discern what type of magic and who she is through looking through the room and understanding the spells that she's doing? And maybe understand a little bit more about what this red crystal is.
Give me a clever and tell me how high you roll.
Okay, 1 second.
Now, is the one she's holding, is that her most threatening-looking crystal?
It is certainly the most threatening-looking crystal within reach.
Okay.
There is a sort of a carved onyx-looking thing that's like it's a what do you call it? A prism shape, but onyx doesn't naturally occur in that shape. So clearly it's been made to look like a crystal that it isn't, and it's just kind of weird. But it is a kind of a big black crystal-y looking thing, which looks kind of intimidating to you.
So Marcel's OCD has completely taken over her thought process, and she rolled a 1 with a clever of 2. And she's just completely distracted by the place.
Yeah, no, this is over. How can someone let a room get like this? Can you believe?
It's so messy.
And the other thing is that this is you were told to put things in certain places because that's where they go, but you don't really know why. But I mean, I will say you do recognize enough stuff, even with that role and that being that overwhelmed. I mean, he's doing witchcraft. You just don't know any specific type or anything like that. I mean, looks witchy to you.
I want to try, while she's pointing this crystal at me, to use my flame spell to heat it up and make her drop it.
Okay. I'll do that. I also realized, as I was talking just now, I should have said, it's a gray crystal, and there's some other gray crystals around of different shades of gray. But I'm going to say part of the magic is you know what red is.
Okay.
So go ahead and cast. This is a clever roll. I'm going to warn you that this is going to be a challenging roll, which is an 8.
Okay.
And before you roll, you don't have to. You can decide.
Trying to decide how impulsive I feel
right now. It is dangerous because it is magic.
Yeah.
So.
I think I'm gonna have that idea, but I've had enough dangerous things that I don't want to risk burning the shop down. So I'm just going to jump forward and try to bite her hand.
Okay.
Still dangerous.
This will also be dangerous, but it is a little bit easier. I'm going to say it's a 6. And it is a fierce roll.
That's a 10.
Woohoo! All right. Liggs is you just leap on her. She's not expecting that to happen. So she gets knocked back, and actually, you end up the crystal goes flying, and she's on her back, and you're standing on her chest with all four paws, just growling in her face.
I say, where's the witch hunter?
Why would I tell you that?
I growl louder.
I mean, he's not here. He's gone away. He's hidden somewhere.
So, I want to flit over to Liggs's shoulder again, and just look down at the witch and make sure she's got a good eyeful of the point of my beak. I'm not like stabbing her or anything. I just want her to see it, and then say, "How do we know you aren't the witch hunter? I've got an idea how we can test it."
And actually, as she says that, Liggs, you know that she is not the witch hunter. Because she doesn't smell like the witch hunter.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean everyone else knows it.
No, and I know Carrie's trying to intimidate her, so I'm not going to let on that I know that just yet.
Alright. Would you like to roll fierce, Carrie?
I would love to roll fierce. It's probably a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I am going to say that, yeah, this is actually kind of a dangerous roll. So.
Well, good thing I rolled an 11 then.
Woohoo! So you get your beak down close enough to her eyeball to make her nervous, and say that. She's like, I'm not the witch hunter. I'm a witch. Why would I be a witch hunter? I just hired him. I brought him to town and gave him the tip and said that your witch was an evil witch, and I just need to get her out of town. I need to get rid of her, and I thought that she'd be sensible and run. You know that she's lying right now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they'd kill her, but I've got to, I promised I'd protect him, and
Witch
I don't want to
hunter. It's right there in the name.
All right. So it wasn't. Anyway, look. Clearly, you all really like her and all that, and you can do whatever you have to do, but just this town needs a witch, and yours is dead, so killing me is not going to help anyone.
I'll feel better.
All right, she's going to try and throw Liggs off. So, Liggs, I want you to make a fierce roll again.
Okay. 12.
Oh, she's not going anywhere. She starts moving her hands up to throw you off, and you just growl and get your teeth close to her throat. And she's like, "Oh, okay. What do you want me to do?"
Where are your familiars now?
They're in the front room. They're trying to get the spider's legs bandaged up.
How do you get in touch with the witch hunter?
He's in the basement. It's just that trap door right over there. Don't tell him I told you. Are you actually trying to bite her, or just?
Oh, I'm snapping my beak in her face.
Oh yeah, no. She has realized that right now that this has been a very bad plan, and that she is in way over her head. Look. I'll get out of here. Just let me go. I'll get out of town.
Hey,
and I'll stay gone for a day or two.
Salem, can you check the basement without us having to let the witch up?
Are you saying that in character, or?
Yeah.
Oh, so now she knows I'm in here. That's all right. My first question was going to be, what happened to the crystal, that flew from her hand?
Oh, it's sitting over on the floor.
So it didn't shatter or anything?
No. It's like it kind of looks like a big red quartz crystal, like the kind that you find in New Age shops that cost $1 million. You know,
I was going to say I can go pick it up. I have a way of holding things that others don't because I'm so tiny.
Mm-hmm. You could.
So I'll pick it up to make sure that the witch does not get access to it again.
Okay. So Salem, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go check the basement. I'll sass the witch on my way past.
Of course, don't need to roll for that as ever. So there is a trapdoor. It is shut, but you see another way down. It's like clearly the rat has been busy building, digging tunnels and holes, but making them bigger so that the other animals can get around too. So you're easily able to go down a little sort of hidden tunnel that leads to the basement. And poke your head
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna be as quiet as possible while doing so.
All right. Why don't you give me a sly roll?
Nine.
You are as the night creeping down there, and as you and that's good actually because as you poke your head out of the little tunnel exit, you see the witch hunter just asleep on some sacks of grain over in a corner. It looks like they've been sort of stretched out to make a makeshift bed. But there's grain, clearly grain that's being stored by the bakery next door.
I see.
Still wearing the black leather armor that Lig smelled earlier. A very wicked looking dagger belted at the hip. But otherwise, yeah.
Okay. So you said he's asleep.
Yep.
I'm going to go up to him. I'm not going to touch him yet, but I'm going to try. But I'm going to get up near his head, if I can do so.
Yeah.
Does he notice anything while I'm doing that? Does he stir in his sleep at all?
No. I'm gonna let you ride on that 9 stealth from earlier. So yeah, no, you. I mean, he does maybe. It seems like he's pretty deeply asleep, but will kind of turn a little bit in his sleep. Not as though he's really sensed your presence, just because he's turning in his sleep. He's also snoring. So
Snoring. Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to get as close as possible to his head, and while he's asleep, I'm going to try and take at least one of his eyes.
What about your spell?
Oh, hey! And I'll wait on that chat comment for a moment. How are you going to dig the eye out? Just with your claws?
Well, let's see. What would be the more effective way? Like, this is a question for the table, asking y'all's opinions. What do y'all think the more effective way would be? To cast plant growth and make something to help gouge the eye out, or to just use my claws and try and get it?
Can Marcel start walking down behind her and come on into the basement?
Yeah, you can fit.
Okay, so I'm gonna look over and
I would like you to make a sly roll just to
make sure I don't wake anything up. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Here, let me. Yeah, just pulling it all up. There we go. And the sly roll is going to be. Oh boy! Finally, I got a 10.
Yay! All right. Yes, you are similarly as the night creeping through the room.
Okay.
So yes, you come on over there.
So I quickly whisper over to Salem, trap him with your plant growth. They did such a good job of trapping you earlier.
He's lying on sacks of grain.
Exactly.
I will say that you have done enough. You're a cat. You're a predator. You know that digging out an eye is not going to be a short process.
No, yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Okay, that's yeah, okay.
So
I will cast plant growth to try and have vines and other plants, very 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 strong plants, maybe even some roots, try and just hold him down.
Well, it's not grain. They're on the sacks of grain. Just literally turn the seeds.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Let's see a clever roll. And actually, yeah, there's enough plant growth here. It will be dangerous because it is magic, but I'm going to say a 6 is all you need.
okay.
You
said
got
clever.
This. You got this.
Yeah, this is clever because it's
Okay.
stuff.
My unicorn hat is going on to get you more luck.
Yes.
There we go.
Yay!
Okay, I have no modifier in clever, so let's hope. That's exactly a 6.
Yay!
All right. The grains sprout immediately, and he jerks awake as the vines basically overwhelm him and hold him back down to the grain to the sacks. They've already burrowed their roots deep into the earth of the basement floor, and he's for the moment held there. Upstairs, you are Liggs is sitting growling at the witch still. Carrie is threateningly snapping at her eyes every so often, and you hear a rumble from downstairs.
Hey, Liggs, hold her here. I'm going to distract the other familiars. They'd flap towards the footman.
Okay, I will just continue holding the witch down.
Okay.
I don't want to make too much noise to call down to find out what that was, but I also don't want to let her up.
Okay. All right. So, Carrie, you fly out to the front room, which is where the other familiars are, and as you fly out there, you notice Maggie basically sitting on a perch next to the door, where you're pretty sure she could have heard everything going on in the back room, but just still kind of sitting there and just watching you fly in and keeping an eye on the situation. The toad turns and is like, "What's this now?" As the rat is like bandaging, using little tiny bandages to bandage up spider legs.
I'm responding to the job placement ad.
Great timing, says Maggie, almost laughing.
I mean, I hear there's a new witch in town. You seem to have a nice, cozy place, and this is a much taller perch than the one I had with the other witch. What's not to like?
Why don't you give me a sly roll?
9.
Finally seen some sense then, have you? Good.
Well, you know, it's getting tired of hanging out in the woods all the time. I mean, all the good dead stuff is in town these days.
Yeah. Same reason I came out of that blasted swamp.
Right. I mean, swamp flies, they're one thing, but the flies that gather around the grain and, the butcher's shop.
Yeah,
Those flies. Nice and juicy.
Hey, I don't suppose you know anything about bandaging up spiders, do you? Says the rat.
I kind of look at my claws and I'm like,
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Not as
All right,
much. I
well,
mean, the spiders usually do the bandaging, right?
Yeah, I know, right? So who bandages the spiders? No,
Hey,
doesn't make
I
any
got an
sense.
idea, though.
Yeah?
Does the spider have any, like, big webs around here? I mean, I noticed none of us have those, what you call them, thumbs.
Yeah.
But maybe if we
It's
roll
got
the
big-
spider in one of the webs real tight, that'll do for bandaging.
Yeah, good thinking, good thinking. Meanwhile, the spider's just going, ow, ow, stop,
Don't
ow,
worry, little
stop
buddy.
it.
We'll have you fixed up in no time.
All right. In the back room, Liggs, you're just holding the witch down? Did you want to do anything else?
Ah,
And it's
it all
fine
looks
if
like.
you don't. I'm just giving you opportunity.
Yeah, I just want to make sure she cannot get up and help and cause any problems for anyone else on this group.
And she's saying, just let me go. I'll get out of here and not be in trouble. And, all right.
You're gonna stay right where you are for now.
Okay. Um, Downstairs, the plants have entwined the witch hunter, but he's begun struggling. What are you going to do?
I reach and bite to grab the knife from his side just to make sure that he doesn't get access to it.
Okay.
I take the knife away.
Why don't you give me a quick test, difficulty 6, just because the vines are still growing and he is thrashing around.
Okay, that is going to be a 6 exactly. 5 plus 1.
Excellent. You grab the knife out of his belt, just as he's trying to reach for it, actually, and pull it away. Salem?
I'm kind of like maintaining all my concentration on keeping these, these plants, holding them down as much as possible. So
All
I'm
right.
gonna. I'm gonna say to Marcel, get his eyes, get his eyes. Probably the
I
first
love
time
this
I can
game.
spoken
I
in
absolutely
character.
love this game.
Well, I'm very tidy, so I can do things with surgical precision, I think. I think that's
Yes.
Except here's the problem. I'm extremely clumsy, so we'll see if this works.
All right. I am going to say that, you can get on his chest and start digging out those eyes. You have
Go,
those
boy!
clever little claws. Or are you going to try and use the knife, or are you going to use your
No,
claws?
I don't have opposable thumbs.
Okay, fair enough.
We got to be a little honest there. I think we need to, as horrific as this is, the question, I guess, I'm going to look over to Salem and I'm going to go, do we kill it first? Or do we just take the eyes? 1 eye, 2 eye?
We need both eyes.
Both eyes? Okay. It's going to make such a mess.
I'll help you clean it up.
So I'm going to go and I'm going to work with a little bit with my teeth, right? Because that's going to give me a little bit more grip to get in. And so I'm coming in down. Do I need to roll?
Well, certainly the optic nerve you're going to have to bite off.
Right, exactly. So
yeah.
I'm thinking that I have to go around it.
All right, just to keep this from getting too gory right now.
Please.
Sorry.
Yes, you managed to get his eyes out. Because
You want me to roll?
No, Salem is maintaining the spell. He got the knife away, which would be his way out. He just, he is strapped down by every vine in the that came out of that sack of grain. You can just sit there and work until you get him out, which you do. You are unfortunately covered in gore at the end of this. But you're doing this for the witch who you love. And that is, and truly no greater show of love can be done than you getting covered in gore for your witch.
It's horrible!
You're able to fight your way through. So you have the eyes.
What do we do with the
What do
witch
you do
hunter?
now?
We have the eyes, but what do we do with the witch hunter? Do we leave him here? I think we need to at least patch him up a little bit, right? So take some gauze to clean the face up, and we stick. I'm taking Kleenex and I'm sticking them in there, and then little seeds. We'll put seeds in there with little eyes on the seeds.
You're gonna make him eyes out of seeds.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if they're big enough, right? We'll take these little seeds. We'll draw little, little bark. And we'll...
Replacement eyes.
There you go. We're not here to kill you. We just need your eyes. I need the witch back. It's just a thing.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing.
Because I think that would cross the line from comedy into horror, the seeds that you use that you put in his eyes with the little eyes drawn on them do not actually sprout.
Good, I don't want that. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm here to be sweet and kind. I see I give you eyes back.
So you do that. There are now replacement eyes in the witch hunter, and it is clean off, and critically, he is not bleeding to death. And you have a pair of witch hunter eyes.
Was he blocked from screaming this entire time, or?
Oh, yes, there was a vine that conveniently gagged him.
Okay.
Because again,
I made sure of that. I mean, I would have made sure of that. Make sure that he wasn't here.
There were some muffled screens, and which, by the way, as soon as that started, the witch just went still. She did not try and struggle. She just looks terrified now. Yeah, she's not even trying to get away anymore. She's just kind of resigned to her fate. All right.
Okay.
So we have the eyes, and so we're going to leave him completely bound on this sack. We're going to leave him there. We gave him his replacement eyes. We cleaned up his face a little bit. And we go. I would assume that Marcella's going to go right back up through the trapdoor, and now she's in the kitchen.
Yep, exactly.
Do I hear a fox fussing over blood and gore in the bathroom now?
Oh, so in the other room where the other familiars were, they're talking up how great it is to work for this witch and everything, and then they start hearing muffled screams from the basement, and nothing from where they know the witch is, and they start looking at each other, looking at you. Saying,
Nothing to worry about. We can't have witch hunters running around loose with the witch, can we?
Yeah, right.
I mean, they hunt witches.
Right. So if this works, hey, no odd feelings about this. We were just doing our job.
Of course
right?
not. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, familiars. We gotta stick together.
Yeah. Just doing our job.
It's a union job. We gotta support each other.
Yeah. Glad to see you understand.
Hey, no problem. Look, I've got some stuff I need to take care of. You guys just hang out here. Maybe check out the butcher's flies and all that sort of thing. See you later.
Is our witch okay then?
Last time I saw her, yeah.
She gonna be okay? Because
As far as I know.
That's kind of our meal ticket in there.
Oh yeah, I understand. I mean, we didn't need her eyes.
All right. Mind if we go check on her?
Just a second. I flop in.
I'm joyously coming out of the hole.
Familiars are beginning to get suspicious.
Okay. Is everyone up from the basement?
So you fly into the back room and see, basically see the witch just lying there flat, just not moving, just resigned to her fate. Liggs is standing on her chest still, but not even bothering to growl, just kind of giving her a dirty, dirty look. Um, as Marcel comes up, covered in gore, carrying the eyes, just a shocked, I can't believe I'm doing this expression on her face.
Hey, Marcel, you want me to take those disgusting things off your hands?
And right behind her comes Salem, just strutting out of the tunnel up there, like, yeah, I did what we did. You know how it
So
is.
now
Hey, you
that
want me to
I
fly
see
those things
everyone's
back to the witch hunt?
back up and we have the eyes, I'm going to lean in close to the witch and say, be out of town before the sun comes up tomorrow. And then I'm just going to lick her nose and bound out the back door.
All right. She just lies there, just can't believe that everything has gone so terribly, terribly wrong. So, I'm going to say that you first, Marcel takes hands off the eyes, or at least sets them down for a moment, gets to like a water barrel, cleans just thoroughly, which takes about half a day, but takes.
It would take at least that.
But you're on a clock, so you do the quick version. You pick up the eyes and start heading back through the forest. You go across the bridge. No sign of any sphinxes this time.
Reggie?
Reggie's off somewhere else playing. You get to the forest, to the maze, and it's a straight path again
Oh, yay.
for you. It lets you just walk unmolested straight back to the witch's cottage. And as you get to the glass coffin with the witch in it, as the sun is setting and the beautiful colors of the sky light up the coffin like it was a kaleidoscope, you open up the lid and place the eyes on her chest, and nothing happens. For a minute, nothing happens. And then one of her hands reaches up and places itself over the eyes, and she just says, "Thank you." And that's where we're going to end the game.
Yay!
Thank you all for playing. You were incredible. This was a lot